What is going on? What is going on? This is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro studios on the road. We're hanging out. Let me make sure my mic works. Yep, my mic works. Just wanted to make sure of that. Let's have some fun. By the way, you're part of history as we're talking right now. As you're hanging out with me live, let me just make sure I share this just in case anybody wants to join us live. Um, but just so you know, you're a part of history. If you're joining me from the Facebook Messenger that I put together, please let me know. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you for not complaining about, the thumbs up can be a little bit annoying when people are giving thumbs up. It can cause a bunch of notifications, but I figure, what the heck, some of you may be interested in that. All right. So let me just make sure that we can see the screen properly. All right. Now you guys can see my screen as well too. All right. So we are gonna have some fun today. We're talking about what is digital real estate. On the last episode, which is the first of an eight-part series, we talk about what is digital marketing in real estate. This one is about what is digital real estate. All right. So we are going to analyze that together today because those are two different things. Okay. Today is going to be not mindset, but at least your thought process on how this works. I need you to understand how it's going to be more about how the digital era has affected real estate. And if you're not aware of that, you will suffer, or let me just say, you put your energy in the wrong direction when it comes to real estate. If you don't pay attention to the effect of digital on real estate, the digital era, the digital everything, digital trends, everything digital, right? You're watching me on a digital device. Yes, it may be a TV, but it's still a digital device. If that TV is not digital enabled, you won't be able to watch me. So either you have a stick, Amazon stick, or some kind of a gadget plugged into the TV, or the TV is actually a smart TV on its own. So Lionel, what's up, Lionel? Hello. All right. So please make sure you share. Just share this everywhere. That way we can get some more people watching us live. All right. The more you share, the better it is. The more, the merrier. Okay. But again, like I said, you are a part of history if you're watching this series. I put the series together, uh, uh, frankly, because. There's a lot going on, and I figure we need to update everyone on how the digital era is affecting everyone, especially if you are in real estate. All right. So we need to pay attention to that. If we don't pay attention to that, your business will suffer. Okay, especially if you're already especially if you're already close to a few deals. Okay, if you're already close to a few deals, one or two deals, you have a blind spot and you don't see what's coming, and it's going to be extremely bad. And the reason why I'm able to see this is because I've been through such situation. Okay, when I started back in 2004 5, obviously things are not where they are today. There was no Zillow, there was no Redfin, there was no Trulia.com. Those are huge platforms, huge online real estate that is affecting the market, either you like to admit it or not. Okay. The investors and the brokers are very quick to tell you that, hey, the numbers on Zillow are not good enough, but the keyword is enough. Doesn't mean they're not good. Okay. Those data, okay, uh, does reflect real numbers. Okay, it may not have the right algorithm to figure out the value of a property, but those numbers are close enough. And we're talking about in mass across the whole nation. But either you like it or not, your client, your buyer, your seller is going on Zillow, obviously, because the website is popular for a reason, right? They're going on there to determine how much they want to pay you or how much they want to sell their property for. And you may say, hey, but they're delusional. But the truth is that they're delusional enough for you not to get a deal, right? So you need to pay attention to all of that. And all of that is a result of how the digital era has affected real estate. Okay. So on the last session, if you want to know more about digital marketing for real estate, two things. You want to stay tuned all the way through this series, part 1 to 8. Okay. The second thing, make sure you watch part 1. Okay. Make sure you watch part 1 of this series. It should be live 015 of this platform, of this channel. All right. And it should say what is digital marketing, and you can just put my name behind it, Ola Abitogun. If you search for that in Google, it will come right up. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's dive into what is digital real estate. Okay. Digital real estate does not is not digital online websites. Okay, I've seen people say that before. I may have said that in the past, but it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. All pieces of content online are not real estate, because we call them real for a reason. It's because they're actually on a land, and there's limited amount of them. Okay, there's unlimited amount of websites. Okay, there are billions of them, and we can even have trillions more. Okay, and that by default automatically makes it not real estate. Okay, the fact that other people can replicate the same information, like there are people out there that can replicate your whole website and replicate it and put it, obviously it won't be on the same address, right? But they can replicate. So you could literally go to genyoutube.com, and it's a replication of everything on YouTube. Okay, it just makes it more downloadable, that's all. So because of that, YouTube by itself is not a real estate. So you cannot say things like, oh, when you have websites, that's digital real estate. We used to say things like that when we first came online in 2009, but it's wrong. It's not accurate. Okay, it also discounts how powerful real estate by itself is. So I don't want you to engage in such habits of calling a website a digital real estate. It's not. Okay, it may be a digital property. Okay, that's another way of looking at it. It could be a digital property, absolutely, but it's not digital real estate. It cannot be real. We call it real asset for a reason, because it's on a land, and land real estate, especially land, aka real estate, are limited to basically all you have on this earth, on this planet, right? So, and that's one of the reasons why real estate keeps going up, because even though, yes, population keeps growing, there's more need for housing. And that's always so, because of increasing population and the fact that's probably never gonna, human beings are probably not gonna never gonna engage in a decision to limit population. I understand there are conspiracies, there may be real things of people trying to limit certain demographics. That's beyond the scope of this topic. But the point is that population is growing, right? And because of that, real estate will continue to be higher and higher value. It may tank sometimes, and you need to pay attention to that, because when it tanks, some people commit suicide, some people's livelihood goes with that. So you don't want to say, hey, because it's going to keep going up, then it's okay for it to tank. No, 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 no. It's going to tank. It's just like people are going to die. It's just like everyone, we're going to die. But that doesn't mean you want to go chasing after death right now. Right? So with that being said, you want to protect yourself against recession, because it will happen. Okay, it's just a given fact of life that recession will happen. Are we making sense? Hopefully we are, right? All right. So let's keep that in mind. Now, the so digital real estate is not a concept. Like, it's not a concept that you can basically label houses, properties with. Okay, digital real estate is specifically, when we say that, we're talking about the effect of the digital era, which is, it's not just inevitable, it's the reality of what we have today, right? The effect of that on the real estate market. Why should you stay tuned and listen to this all the way through? Because again, it affects your chances of ever closing a deal. If you've never closed a deal before, it affects your chances of your business not crashing and burning if you're already in business. Okay, and it's very important that you pay attention to everything, every word that I'm going to say on this particular series, especially this episode and this moment in time. This moment matters a lot. Okay, so digital era real estate. Okay, at the end of the day, the angle where it really affects is market. The market. Okay, because again, the market is always right. I mean, you could have an opinion, you could have ideas all day long, right? I'm telling you that we're making history right now because our platform, as it is, the exposure that it's going to get, you will get to benefit from it for being here right now upfront because of some concept that we just stumbled into, and basically surrounding obeying the market. The market is always going to be right. The market is the boss. I'm not the boss. You're not the boss. Okay. The market, meaning not one single human being. We defined market on the last on the last part, right? It's never one human being. The moment you have one human being as your market, your business is screwed because you are basically at the mercy of this, of this one human being. You can't afford to do that. Okay, you can't afford to do that. So if you set up your business in a way that basically serves the market, right, meaning everyone is treated equally with respect, never putting one human being on a pedestal, but paying attention to the data that is indicating what the market is saying, right? If you do that, your business will be recession proof. Why? Because people always want something at any point in time. And that's the beauty of the digital era and the effect of the digital era on real estate. Okay. We get to have access to information that we didn't have access to back in 2004 when I started, back in 2004 and 5. I closed my first deal in 2005. The fact of the matter is that you don't have to wait a whole year like myself any longer before you start making money. No, you don't. Okay. And by the end of this series, you will realize that you don't have to wait until you close a deal before you start making money. You see, one of the things I want to point out is that this game of entrepreneurship is about the survival of the fittest. Okay. It's about how much money you can spend on marketing. It's not about how low the money you can spend on marketing. If the goal was to spend as low money as possible on marketing, all you have to do is not spend a dime and then you won the game. Right? That's all you have to do. Just simply stop spending money altogether and then you already won the game. But I'm guessing that's not why you're trying to get into real estate. You're trying to get into real estate because you want to make money in real estate. The goal is to increase your income first and foremost, right? Your why may be a little bit bigger than that. Maybe your why is so you can spend some time with your family. You want to spend more time with your family. You want to quit your day job that you don't like. You like your day job, but you would just like to have a little bit more time, in your life, and whatever your why is probably bigger than money. But the goal, in order to make that why happen, the goals from a number standpoint is you want to increase your income. You want income to come in your sleep, right? For most people, wholesaling is not money coming in sleep. You have to hustle and you have to put in a lot of work in marketing. You have to chase people around. You have to beg people on the phone to sell you their property for 20 cents on a dollar, right? So the dream is out the window all of a sudden. But with what I'm about to show you over the next 8-part series, this is the second of the 8 parts, you will find that you don't have to be there to create results, especially now in the digital age. Okay. And I'm going to prove that to you here. I'm going to use Zillow as an example. I'm also going to use the fact that I'm here right now, literally forever and ever, because we're creating history together. If you're hanging out with me live, this video will be watched by many people for ages to come, right? This video is going to make all of us money for ages to come. Why? Because we're giving value. Together, we're putting value out there. We're training people how to think of real estate wholesaling and investing with the business mindset. Most people come into it, they bring their job and employee mindset into it. Right. And it's easy to do that when you have gurus telling you to drive for dollars, when you have gurus telling you to go knock on doors and indefinitely try to figure out how to get people to sell your property. right from their doorstep when they're actually scared that to open the door for you, because it's the digital age. Anyone that's coming over to anybody's house usually will send a quick text message, hey, well, I'm coming over. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm home, or I'm not home, or I'm lying, I don't want you to come over, I'm not home. Right? Oh, your car is outside. Yeah, I know, but I took Uber out, right? Digital age, Uber, Lyft, right? Everything is affected by the digital era, especially real estate. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the survival of the fittest. It's about the survival of the fittest. If your goal is to spend as low as humanly possible for marketing, right? All you have to do is don't spend money anymore. Then you won the game. I did an experiment some few weeks ago, and I offered a 15 minutes coaching session to our audience, and quite a lot of people took up that offer, and but in order part of the main reason why we did the offer is because we wanted to collect a survey and see where people's pain points are in the game. So we asked a simple question: why do you think your business is struggling? Why do you think you haven't closed your first deal, basically? And most people say low marketing budget. All right. Most people said that. All right. So there are a couple of things I want to share with you inside of this. First of all, I'm able to collect that survey, that data, that huge piece of data because of the digital era. Okay. Back in the days, in order to collect a survey like that, I would have to probably pay a lot of money to a local TV station in order to do that. Today, I don't have to do that. Does that affect the market? Absolutely. Okay, so that's one piece of the puzzle on how digital has affected what we're doing here, and you're going to get the benefit from that. Okay, so now I found out from the piece of data, because everything is kind of like it's a downstream effect of success or failure. That's one of the things with the digital era. Once you start failing, you keep failing. Okay, it's a vicious cycle. Like it gets worse. You know how they say the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. It's actually more of that in the digital era. So the worst thing you want to do is start the game very slow. You need momentum. You need some kind of momentum. You need some kind of excitement in your business to keep you in the game. If you don't do that, you will suffer. The game will suffer for you, and your excitement will die off as well too. And then you know what that means. Again, it's a downstream effect, either of success or failure. All right, great. So if you're in this game, if your goal is to spend low, you already won. Just stop spending. Okay. If your goal is to make a lot of money, you have to put some kind of seed in the ground in order to be able to harvest. That's just life. That's just the principle of life. It's in every religion, it's in every culture. It's just what it is. It's just how we operate, right? You gotta have some kind of seed. That seed could be a form of any kind of resource that you already have, okay? Or that you have access to. Okay, what do I mean by have or have access to? Sometimes you don't have it, but you have access to it, and you're able to invest it. That's what brokers do. That's what stock brokers. That's what they do. They take other people's money, invest it, they make money, they return it back to them. They pull some fees from it. All right. It's kind of similar to what real estate brokers do as well too. They take your property. They don't have to own a property. They take your property with your consent. They sell it. They pull a little bit of commission fees, and then they help you achieve what you want. Get some money, right? And so you don't have to have the resource. You just got to be resourceful. Okay, that's entrepreneurship, right? But it's even more so in the digital era. That means you have a lot more power than you can possibly think of. So when I looked at the survey and a bunch of people are saying low marketing budget, I'm like, okay, two things. They are acknowledging that they need some kind of budget, but they're in the same breath, they are admitting that they're not willing to come up with the resources. Okay, so you may say, no, they said they don't have the resources. But again, if you want something bad enough, you'll come up with the resources. You make it happen, right? If you get locked up right now and you need $500 to get a bill, I don't know, it's probably a horrible example, but let me just make the analogy, right? You need to be bailed out, right? And you get locked up. You want to get out so bad, you want your freedom so bad, you'll find somebody who has $500. You find somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody until you find $500. And if you're not in that state of mind in your business, you probably have your priorities misplaced. Okay. And we should address that. And why should we address that? Because you're missing out big time. It's the digital age. When you put a seed in the right direction, it can go very far and it can set you free. But if you shy away from it, basically, you don't get to choose if you participate or not. You're already participating, you're already part of the game. You're losing. If you're a part of the society, you're already part of the game. You don't get to say, I'm not going to jump off the cliff. You are already drowning, you're already in the ocean. Okay. So either you know it or not, you're drowning, but you can choose to start swimming. Okay. That's why that's one of the reasons why people will use the saying think or swim, right? Say swim or drown, right? So you have a choice here to start swimming. Okay, you have a choice to start swimming, and it's a lot more easier than ever before. So again, in the digital age, some people say, no, 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 you got to do a deal first before you get money. No, you don't have to. Anything that you've ever learned is becoming more and more untrue. Anything you have to unlearn everything you've ever known about life with the digital age, especially in real estate. If someone told you that, hey, you can't broker a house unless you are a broker, a licensed broker, well, that's becoming untrue and untrue. Okay. Legally, you may say, hey, on paper it's still not true, but if you really want to look at it closely, what is wholesaling? Oh yeah, we'll put a house under contract and then we'll sell the contract. But then there's no contract without real estate, right? So if you really want to think about it, are you brokering a deal? Yes, you are brokering a deal. Maybe you're not brokering a house. That's just legal lingos, okay? But if you want to call a spade, things are changing. That's just what it is. And the people that will suffer the most for that are realtors because many of them are in denial that things are changing. Okay, how do I know? Look at Uber, Lyft versus the traditional taxi drivers. The only people that have themselves to blame right now are the taxi drivers. In some cities, in some powerful cities like New York City, they still have a lot of money that they're spending on lobbyists, right? And they're still trying to fight Uber and Lyft, and they're still trying to. But the truth of the matter is that you don't have to be. I don't know how they get license as a taxi driver. You don't have to be any of that any longer. You don't. You simply don't have to be that in order to drive or do some kind of ride share. You don't have to be in majority of the cities in America, even honestly around the world. So you don't have to be. But maybe in New York City, they require some kind of insurance and stuff like that. But it's only a matter of time before it becomes, hey, we can't, let's deregulate that. How many times have you heard a whole industry deregulated? What does that mean? It means the restrictions are removed to allow more free trade. If you live in a free trade society and a free enterprise society, it is what it is. So do you think that's going to affect real estate? Yes, it will affect real estate. Okay. You hear a lot of people say, thank God I don't fall in that category. But you hear a lot of people say, hey, you can't coach if you haven't done the business. That's becoming untrue and untrue too. That's not true. Professors do that. Okay. They don't have to be involved in coal mining to be able to teach coal mining. Okay. They don't have to be. So you're going to hear a lot of stuff that used to be true, but is becoming untrue and untrue because of the digital era. And the effect of the digital era on real estate is real. And you deserve to pay attention to that. You deserve to start taking action based on that, starting today. All right. So we're talking about Zillow earlier. So Zillow is one of those scenarios, right? While a lot of traditional realtors are busy whining and I don't want to use the B word, but I don't know. I'm trying to see. I don't know. No disrespect, but they're busy bitching about Zillow, right? Zillow is not good, but guess where your client? Guess where their client is gonna go first? The client is going to go on Zillow first. Okay, maybe they're not going to go on Zillow. They're going to go on Google and Google a property address or Google a city, the state, and then real estate. Guess what comes up first? Zillow. Zillow. So the kids or whoever is behind designing and setting up and coding up Zillow and the Truliest of the world. If you don't know what Zillow is a website where they list all of the real estate in America, period. Okay. Trulia is very similar as well too. Redfin is similar. Realtor.com is still controlled by people that are in favor of realtors, but that's their way of trying to catch up, but it's a catch up. It's like Walmart chasing after Amazon. So just think of that, right? That's not good, right? Right? It's like all the new apps that some smart taxi driver companies now are doing to try to compete to Uber, but it's tough, okay? Because Uber has the institution money behind it and Lyft. They have like mass amount of money behind it, and people kind of enjoy using it. The drivers may not enjoy it yet. They may feel underpaid, but the riders are enjoying it, right? The market is always right. I mean, you can think of it as sad, whatever you want to call it, but the market is always right. Okay. So if the market is gravitating towards using the digital devices, the digital platforms, the digital tools out here, guess who's going to be wrong? You're going to be wrong if you don't pay attention to that. So Zillow, Trulia are exactly an example of what I'm talking about. A lot of people say, oh, the numbers are not real. Well, the numbers are not real, but people are going to look at that number because the first thing they do is they Google. Okay. While you're busy arguing with them on the value, they're Googling and they may make it, sometimes they make it buying decision based on that. Sometimes they say, you know what, you're right. They may be a little bit calm to allow you to show them some more data, some more real data, and you may be able to convince them to pay $200,000 for a house that's showing a Zestimate, which is a Zillow estimate, that's showing a Zestimate of $100,000. You may be able to get that done. Okay. But the keyword is maybe. You may be able to get that done. But I'll tell you what's happening right now today. What's happening is that people will call you and say, hey, your family, you're a real estate agent, so can you show me some houses? Can you get me? And then you start driving them around town, you show them some houses, and then they get tired of the whole driving around town. Of course, you're getting tired too, but you're in denial because you're like, that's what I do. Let me just drive around town and show them some houses, right? And then when you show them some houses, after about 3 days, they don't pick up the phone as much anymore. You're ready to show them some more, but they now, instead of you getting tired and thinking ahead of the market, they're thinking ahead for you. They're like, why are we wasting time? So they go on Google, or their son or daughter goes on Google and say, hey, mom, let's take a search through the city. We can see a lot more data than this guy will possibly ever show you, right? And they go on there and they see a house, and then there's a realtor that's advertising his or her face on the side of the house, and then they click on that and they contact that person, and that person sold them a house like that, and you just lost that client. Not only did you lose that client, you lost time, energy, uh gas, breaks, you lost all these things. If you do that enough time, you'll be out of business. You will get frustrated. If you do that enough time, you'll become an average realtor who makes $8,000 or less per year. That's a real data. Okay, that's a real actual experiment survey that was done. Okay, less than 8,000. It makes sense. Yes, even though some realtors are making $2-3 million a year, majority of them don't make any money. So the average is around $8,000 or less per year. So it's making sense. It's going to be more and more of that. Okay. Why? Because people have the power of choices right at their fingertips, their thumbs on their phone. They can download the app and they can look at as many houses and they can see a clear picture of what they think. They make up their own opinion. Never mind your own professional opinion. I get it. You have a professional opinion, right? They're going to make up their own opinion of what the property is worth. Okay. So either you're a real estate wholesaler or you're a real estate, what you may call it, investor or broker. You have to pay attention to these things. You cannot be that one to say no, 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 it's evergreen, it's always going to be that. No, there's no such thing. Nothing lasts forever. Okay, not even human beings, right? Nothing lasts forever. Not even species. A lot of times, if you look at the history, there's a lot of what they call it, extincts that have happened, that the whole species will die off, because things are changing. Nothing lasts forever. So don't expect the way business was done once upon a time to last forever like that either. It's not, it just doesn't exist. So in your short span that you're going to be here, maybe a 20 years career, 30 years, 40 years career, right? You want to pay attention to how technology is affecting what you do. Okay, especially if you're trying to be an entrepreneur. See, on your job you didn't have to worry about that, right? The same scanner that they used at FedEx when I was working there 15 years ago is not the same scanner that they use right now. But if I was working there, I'm probably not paying attention to that, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, everything I just delivered. No, the tools are changing. The tools are different. They probably allow GPS in the truck now. Back then, they didn't allow GPS. You had to use your map. But eventually, they realized, hey, wait, that's the next wave. Nobody's printing maps any longer. At least not as much because no one is using it, right? There's a better way to have directions to go to. They probably looking. They're probably using the fact that you have a radar, a geographical location that digital wise to determine where the next stop is so quick. I'm not even clear because I left that place 2006 was when I quit FedEx. So I don't know right now, but I'm guessing that that company is paying attention to faster deliveries. Well, why? Because first of all, volume of deliveries has increased thanks to Amazon, right? Volumes of online shopping has increased dramatically, ridiculously dramatically, right? So their volume has increased, so they need to be able to deliver quicker. So if they want to deliver quicker, guess who that comes back on? The drivers. So they're gonna ask them more and more. Hey, if you used to deliver for what I remember, I think I used to have about 20 deliveries in about 2 hour ish, 20 deliveries. I bet it's a lot more now. They require more of them because there are more tools to make that happen. But on top of that, there's more packages that they have to deliver. And if they want to stay on top of the game as a company, they have to pay attention to that. Well, guess what? You have to do the same thing in real estate. Okay. So things are moving faster. Things are moving faster and faster. I started this with saying it's a game of a survival of the survival of the fittest. And when I say that, you have to be strong enough to be able to spend good money on marketing. You have to have money for marketing. Um, so maybe you don't have money. Am I saying that your business is doomed? No. I'm telling you to stay tuned to this series because I do have a solution to that. If you don't have money for marketing, I have a solution for that. Um, but you have to have money to market, and you have to build that marketing budget as fast as humanly possible. And there's a very good likelihood that your job is not good enough to do it, because if it was, you would have been doing it, right? But if you could make money in this business and then be able to reinvest that money back faster into lead generation for your wholesaling business, for your brokerage business, for your inspector business, whatever it is that you do in real estate, right? If you can make some good money fast upfront so you can reinvest back, right? If you can make money even if you haven't closed a deal, right? Would that make all the difference? Okay, I'm guessing the answer is yes. But if you have less than $1,000 to spend on marketing, it's just going to take you a while because you're not going to be able to collect enough data in good time. Okay. And I'm talking on average. I'm not talking about that one guy on the testimonial that everyone is hauling around. I'm not talking about that one guy that's making all the money in driving for dollars. Yeah, right. But he probably closed one deal, right? Right. And everybody is pushing that around as a testimonial for driving for dollars. I'm not talking about that one guy because honestly, all strategies work. Okay. The question is effectiveness and efficiency. That's really what the question comes in. What are your chances that you're going to close a deal? Chances, as in like statistics. What are your chances? Probably almost none. if you get stuck on old school strategies. What are old school strategies? Driving for dollars, personally, not enterprise. Personally, okay. Enterprise is when you hire other people to drive for dollars, and you understand that that's a numbers game. You have to keep hiring. You understand that people are not going to last in it, so retention rates are going to be low, right? You want to keep, so you can still use digital alongside with driving for dollars on an enterprise level, which means you're spending money and time and resources on proper marketing at scale. Okay, that's that. But driving for dollars personally is old school, and if you engage in old school marketing, you will exactly make no money. Okay, like a heightened, ridiculous amount of chance that you will never make a dime in this business. And yes, you have a chance of making money because obviously there's a guy, that one guy on the testimonial, right, who made money, right? Maybe a few among about a couple of tens of thousands of people trying to do wholesaling, right? Maybe a few, right? So you just do the math, okay? All right. So the other one is knocking on doors. Why? Because again, you might as well just you're using your body. Okay, anytime you are using your body to work, time, you're using your time to try to get money, it's the worst form of leverage. And if you want to win in this game, you need to apply lots of leverage. If you want to win in this game in the digital era, you have to apply lots of leverage. That's the way it works. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to share with you as we go along. Okay, a couple of things I want to share. So we already talked about digital properties, digital influence. Okay, influence is a real thing. Influencers. Have you ever heard about influencers? Imagine somebody say, "Hey, you're just Kim Kardashian. You're not gonna make money." Well, you know the reality. Yes, she will make money, and yes, she will make a whole lot more than you can possibly make. And yes, she can scale it. And yes, she's gonna become a smarter business person than you, all because a brand, okay, can actually make that much money, can become much more productive. See, the way people value itself, right? Okay, is the determinant here. Okay, if you have trouble valuing value, right, which is what we lead with here in the three pillars, right, we lead with value always. It's value, automation, and people, right? So we lead with value. If you have a problem valuing value, right, you will struggle. You will just struggle. You will struggle in business, and you only have yourself to blame for it. Okay, basically you're going to be one grumpy old person saying, "Oh yeah, that one is making money and doesn't have a skill." You're just grumpy. Okay, you're just mad. That's all that is. Okay, why is Kim Kardashian making money? It's called branding. It's called being an influencer. It's learning how to value influence. Can Kim Kardashian say, "Go buy this," and a bunch of people will buy it? Do you think that has some kind of value on it? Okay, same thing in real estate. Okay, if you have the power to say, get into real estate, even if you've never closed a single deal ever in your life, if you have that amount of influence to say, get into real estate, right, then you will win. Okay, you will make a lot of money, you will create revenue, and that grumpy old dude that's saying, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of people coaching real estate wholesaling these days that I've never closed it," that grumpy guy is gonna go broke because he doesn't get it. He doesn't know how to value its very self, and he doesn't understand that that affects the value of real estate at the end of the day. The person that can bring the most buyers into real estate wins the game. They don't have to have personally closed a deal ever before. Okay, the guy who has the influence, who has the followership, who has the people following them, the influence, the amount of influence right out there, meaning people respect what they have to say, right? Simply because they've proven over time that what they said is truth. They don't have to have experienced it personally, right? That has never been true, by the way. It's never been true that you have to have experienced something personally in order to teach it. Professors, for the most part, that are teaching industrial stuff, maybe a little bit of experience, but many of them don't have experience. Many of them are interns. A lot of professors are, they started as an internship with another professor. To be a teacher, you don't have to have experience what you're teaching. So that's a ridiculous thing to ever say. When people say it, I'm always like looking at them sideways. See, I'm able to say it because I'm able to say, because I've closed tons of deals, obviously, since 2005, but it's BS that you can't teach what you haven't experienced. No, it's complete BS. It can make a difference if you've had experience, yes, but what we're talking about is information, right? This computer that's getting information across to you is not even human, but it's getting the information across to you. So fundamentally, that doesn't make any sense. The reason why I'm sharing that with you is that I want your mind to start going crazy, to start going wild, to start thinking about the possibilities of when you decide that, hey, I can do and undo a lot of stuff just because I have access to information. We're in the information age, okay? We're not in a stone age. No, you don't have to know how to use a stone to start a fire to know or to share with your kids that that's how they used to start fire, okay? That's fundamental. That's very simple stuff, okay? So why are people saying that? Why are some gurus, quote unquote, saying that? Some of them don't like the idea of a bunch of new wholesalers coming into the game. They don't, they want to, they're haters. Basically, they're haters. Let's just call it what it is, right? So the idea that new wholesalers are coming into the game kind of irks them. It annoys them. It pisses them off. When you call their bandit signs, which I always advise, don't do that. You call them asking for, hey, can you do this for me? And when you start doing that, that gets on their nerve. If you say something that sounds like you just started this business yesterday, it pisses them off even more, right? As opposed to say, hey, these are people. Human resources is one of the best form of resources. One of the best is the best resource for any kind of business. Period. The more people, the merrier. That's it. But a lot of them can't see that far because, again, if you have success, it's very easy to have a blind spot. Okay, it's very, that's why I tell you, don't put a cash buy on a pedestal. They will fall off because they're humans, right? Don't put any one individual, any one human being on a pedestal. They will fall off. They are human beings. Okay, what you need to understand is we're in the information age. You're learning something new. If you're confused, it simply means it's time to learn something new. Okay. And yes, you can make boatloads of money, ridiculous amount of money, even before you close a deal. And if when you start making boatloads of money, now you have money to market. Okay. Now you have enough money to start doing your own marketing. And like I said, it's a survival of the fittest. And that's what digital real estate is about. Okay. It's the survival of the fittest, more so than ever before. So if you don't have money to market, don't get stuck right there. Don't stay, maybe this doesn't work. Let me just go do something that was done in 1963. No, stop. Don't be so limited by your thinking that way. You don't have to do old school stuff like drive for dollars personally or knocking on. You don't have to do any of those craziness. Okay. You don't have to do anything, honestly, to make money. You just have to make things happen. You just have to set up a few things to create results, and you get paid for results. You don't get paid for doing stuff. You get paid for getting things done. And that's more so true in the digital age more than ever before. Okay. So am I saying that you're going to do nothing and money is just going to come? Not exactly. Okay. What I'm saying is that you get paid for results. So results has to get done at the end of the day. You don't get paid for the amount of activities you put in as a person, as a human being. If that was the case, you'd be limited by your 24 hours a day. And clearly that's not gonna fly. If you can make $10 per hour, you work 24 hours a day, you're limited by $240. That's if you're a superhuman. So in order to win in the game of entrepreneurship, you have to understand leverage. And leverage, it's even better in the information age because all you have to do is learn how to get the information to the right people, and then you make money. Okay. If you can do that, you can create income. If you can do that enough time, you can use that income, reinvest back, and you can have money working for itself for you. Right. And then you can have the freedom you're looking for. Okay. Right now, I'm telling you, data is big. Data is just what it is, and most human beings are not paying attention to it. But let's talk about data science. Some of the best kids in the world of data engineering, they didn't go to college. They didn't go to regular college. They learned everything they needed to learn on YouTube. They started an internship, And now, because of their experience, they have a high position making multiple six figures in data engineering, data science, without going through college. Okay. And here I am with a master's degree from 2005 that's basically obsolete if I try to find a job today with it, without insurance, without experience. It's obsolete. It's just what it is, because experience beats that all day long. Okay. It beats it all day long. But I'm telling you right now, we are in the information age. There's a lot of things that can happen if you learn how to get information to the right people. It's not about getting houses. I always told you it's not about houses. It's not about properties. Real estate wholesaling has never been like, even back then. This is something I detected way back in 2006. After going to a few appointments, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to appointments anymore. When I go to appointments, it never guarantees they're going to sign my contract. So why am I going? But this guy here is so motivated. He's ready to give me his house. I'm just going to fax over. I just dated myself. Yes, fax. There was no DocuSign at the time, right? Send over a fax, right, to him, or send an email, and I tell him to fax me back the contract, like that. When they're motivated to get it back to me. And majority of the deals I've closed has been exactly that. I don't see the house until, for the most part, I didn't see the house until we're closing the deal. Okay. Sometimes I will see the house if I need some pictures, but if I can get them to send me pictures, I will even get them to send me pictures. You know why they will take the pictures and send it to me? Because they are motivated. You know how I get to motivation, the motivated people? Because I deal with tons of data. Why? How? Because the internet, thanks to the information age, gives me all of that information. All right. And that's where we are as a race, as a human race. Information age. It's no more the stone age. It's not the industrial age. Stop letting people talk you into manual work. And then eventually, 3 months later, you get frustrated anyway. Think of ways that the little money you may have right now, how can it go far and work for you? It can. Okay. And that's why I'm here to coach you on how to do that. And we're going to be talking about that over the next 8-part series, as I said, on how we're going to get that done. But I'm telling you right now, you don't have to close a deal before you make money. But when you do make money first, you lead with money because you're leading with value. You make money, you will have enough money to market, like the players, like the real players, because it's the survival of the fittest. You have to have money to market if you want to increase your chances of surviving this game. You ever heard the saying, you're one deal away? You're just one deal away from freedom? Yeah, but some people will just never get that one deal. Majority, let me give you a nice statistics. Majority will never close a deal. Doesn't matter how much comments they leave on YouTube. Doesn't really matter. Okay? Because that's not what it's about. It's about serving. It's about who's going to put out the most value. Okay? And the fastest way for you to put out value right now is to learn how to get information to the right people. Not houses, not property, not real estate. Okay? Information. Maybe information about real estate, but still information. Learning how to move information is basically equivalent of learning how to move money. The ones who can move money faster are the ones that are going to make the most money. Basically, some people call it flipping money. The ones that can flip money faster will get to make the money. The ones that stuck with calling people, that one person trying to close that one deal, basically, there you have it. That's the evidence. Okay. That's the reason why they're not making money. Okay. You can move information. Just write that down. That's your lesson from today. Okay. That's what digital real estate is about. Either you're a realtor or a wholesaler. Okay. Moving information is how you're going to make money. Okay. If you're a realtor and you want to learn how that applies in the realtor world, we're going to talk about that as well too. It's very, very important. We're going to talk about that, how that affects you as a real estate broker. It's about moving information. If those who can move information will make the most money, it's just what it is. Okay. Now, if you are stuck on old school and you still feel like, oh yeah, it's 2019 and you still have to do some things, then what you need really, especially if you're like passionate about the physical manual stuff. Some people are like that. They like driving around town with people and showing them houses. That's fine. What you need in order to survive is a hybrid of both. You need a hybrid of respecting the fact that we're in an information age and then still being able to do that. And the way you do that is you pre-qualify people before you start driving them around town. How do you pre-qualify them? It's extremely easy in the information age. extremely easy in the information age to pre-qualify people, because a lot of time people end up driving people around town looking for houses, and then you figure out, all of a sudden you find out they're not even qualified, or they don't have the money, or they don't have the resources to actually make a deal happen. Then you just waste your time. Are we making sense here? So let's talk about digital currency before I round up. Okay. You heard all about the bitcoins and blah blah blah, and the the whole thing fell apart. It fell apart, and a lot of people are using running their mouth, already running their mouth, that is the end of it. No, it's not the end of it. Okay. You ever heard of the dot-com boom and the bust? Yes, it happened. Okay. But even when it happened, do we not have Amazon.com today? Do we not have some of the biggest websites today? Google, Facebook, after the fact, right? Even when MySpace disappeared and Vine disappeared, do we not have the Instagram and the Facebooks of today now? Uh, the concept lives on. Okay. Some companies become casualty, right? They disappeared with the growth of it. The growth was too fast, and then boom, bust, boom. So I don't know if bitcoins is going to be here, but cryptocurrency, the idea of digital currency, are you kidding me? You want to make fun of that? That's here to stay forever. Okay. Now, how does that affect real estate? In every way. In every way. Everything is secured. Everything is monitoring each other. Everything has perpetual integrity on it. So let's just be clear. Let's just be clear. Let's keep working at this. But the digital age is here to stay. There's no going around in bits and bushes and everything like that. There are already people, by the way, sending cash from China to buy houses that they've never seen. It's happening already. It's happening in New York City. Okay. Why? Because there's information that New York City properties are going up in value. Say, hey, I need to park some money. And somebody was smart enough to have some information out there. And then they send them the money. They made the deal happen. And they never seen the property. They only know the location. They see that the location has that data, and data has automatic integrity for, yeah, it has automatic integrity because you can match them against each other. That's what cryptography is about, right? So I just wanted to share that with you and let you know that we are truly in the digital era, and things are going to change. The rules are different. Okay. The rules are absolutely different, and you have to pay attention to that. And don't let somebody tell you, hey, I've been in the business for 30 years and therefore you must pay attention to me. What I'm telling you is that I closed my first deal in 2005. I've been in the game almost 15 years right now. So it's not about that. It's not. Okay. I'm learning as we go. As I'm learning stuff, I'm sharing with you. As I'm documenting what I'm learning, you are here making history with me. Okay. We're going to figure a lot of stuff out together. But what I'm sharing with you, I don't have to tell you stuff like you're a child, like, hey, this is just the way it is. I don't have to tell you. You can see it yourself. You can prove me wrong yourself. I'll give you enough information that you can say, like, Ola, you're full of it. Or Ola, that makes sense. Thank you for those of you that gave me those five thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. So make sure you give me a thumbs up if what I'm saying is making sense. The goal of this series is to give you some kind of reminders. Okay. Make sure I'll push something in front of you, and then you get to determine if it makes sense or not. Okay. Because if you try to hard sell people in this time and age, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why? Because they have the power of choice. Thanks to the digital age, thanks to digital real estate. Um, you send them two houses by email, but then they have access to about 50 houses on Zillow.com. Back in the days, they didn't have access to the MLS, and that was the thing. That's why real estate agents were making money. But now they have access to everything, right? So your method of selling must change. It must change. Okay. And remember, we talked about digital influence earlier. It's going to be about your brand, your personal brand. That's the only thing you have. That's the only thing that sets you apart from everybody else. Okay. That is it. That it is it. Okay. You have houses, everyone else have houses. You have MLS, they have MLS, right? They have all these other things. You're a wholesaler. Well, your cousin is a wholesaler too. The only thing that sets you apart, pay attention to me, okay? The only thing that sets you apart is your brand. How do you build your brand? How do you build your brand? How do you become a powerful influencer? Okay? By giving people the information that they need on a consistent basis. By being in their face on a consistent basis. Are we making sense? So somebody asked me, shout out to Jose. He was asking me if this was about Empire Traffic Academy, which is a platform that we do have. You can go to empiretrafficacademy.com. It's $5,000 to get in there. Okay. But it's not about that. That's not what this series is about. It's a lot bigger than any one single product. Okay. This is about you and your career in real estate. By the time we're done with this series, you don't have to buy anything from me, but you deserve to use the information I share with you in this series for the rest of your life in every endeavor that you're gonna find yourself. Okay. All right. So that's what's about. The only thing that stands out, we're all unique. Your brand is different from mine. You could be my twin brother and look exactly like me. My brother looks exactly like me. We're different people. Once you interact with us, right, you see the difference very clearly, very, very, very quickly. Okay. So the only thing that sets you apart, because again, if you have that fear that it looks like everyone else is wholesaling, you're right. But the cream always rises to the top. How are you going to set yourself apart from the rest of the world? How are you going to do that? How are you going to have a brand that stands out? That say, hey, this guy is the guy I want to sell my house to. Well, first of all, you got to be in front of a lot of people. How are you going to be in front of a lot of people without money? Remember, I told you. See, we're going back in circles, but because actually we need to do that. Okay. It's about the survival of the fittest. Real estate wholesaling, as we move forward, is survival of the fittest. A lot of people are going to have the label real estate wholesaler. It's a bad idea to just be one of them randomly. Okay. It's a bad idea to just be randomly one of them. Okay. But what you can do is set yourself apart. And how are you going to do that? By getting the information that people need to them as fast as humanly possible. You need to do that in mass. You need to be doing it a lot. Okay. So how are you going to do that? Again, we're talking about that right now. Okay. So we're going to break this down. I just don't want to go beyond the scope of this video, which is basically what is digital real estate? How does that affect you as a real estate professional in this digital age? Well, first of all, you have to be a professional. Professionals pay attention to trends. Okay. So there you go. Digital trends. They pay attention to that. But amateurs are saying, because I did that. I did that between 2005 and 8, and then the market crashed in my face. I was an amateur. I was closing deals, lots of deals, and making good money, but I wasn't ready for the kind of money I was making. I just wasn't. Because when that market crashed, boy, oh boy, did it crash. Not only did it crash, wiped out my whole business. Okay. I was taking off multiple households, and all of that got wiped out overnight. Okay. But then that taught me a lesson. I had to pay attention. I had to pay attention to the market, not to real estate per se, but to a market, the real estate market, but more or less, more than real estate market, to people. Okay, to people behaviors. How are people behaving? How does that affect what I do for a living? Okay. I'm also involved in the medical consulting world, and I see how people get lost in that world because they're making good money. They're making good money, so it just seems like it's going to last forever. But then eventually, the big medical facilities start looking for ways to spend less. They start cutting costs, right? And then when they start cutting costs, guess what cost is part of that? Your income. So how do you make sure that your income doesn't tank with the rest of the business? Or where when everybody else's business crashes with the market, how do you make sure of that? By making sure you stand out, making sure that you're one of a kind, that you're just one of a kind in this marketplace. Okay. You're not just another cookie cutter. You're not just another person trying to do a wholesaling. Okay. You're not just another realtor who is calling family and friends and say, let me know if you want to buy or sell a house. You're not just another one. Okay. The digital age makes it even playing ground field for everyone. Everyone is equal. Okay. If they don't understand the quality of being a personal brand. only if you don't understand the quality and how valuable it is to be a Kim Kardashian, right? Right? To be a personal brand. If you don't understand that, yeah, it's gonna be tough. That's what I have for you. Don't forget to go to smartrealestatewholesaling.com. Go download the book. The book. And make sure you download the second book as well, Real Estate Money Secrets. Smartrealestatewholesaling.com is where you want to go. Hopefully, you've been enlightened. Come back here for part 3 tomorrow, and I'll see you on the next one. And peace.